I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. First, the government said that top-down history is less relatable to the community and also less understandable. But here we say a rebuttal, that even if top-down is less relatable, it focuses on the main actors of history, the government, the leaders, and rather than the people who have the lesser impact on the conflict itself. And here we say that the government is also too tunnel focused by focusing on the relatability and the validation for the feelings of the people and families that lost their lives in battle. And then also the government said as if every single government in a post-conflict society is always untrustable and unworthy of validation and honor. But nonetheless, they still worked for the liberation of their people, for the conflict to end. And in the first place, before the conflict even happened, these people and these governments, these actors, are the reason why the society even exists in the first place. And here I will get to my main arguments. Why is teaching to focus on the leaders and major powers will lead into a more stable society? For the first reason, there are 3 reasons. The first is that because it honors the major powers. Like I said, these leaders are leaders for a reason, right? They create, they establish, and they make their country sustainable and able to live in, even if it's post-conflicted. Here, by focusing on them, it honors their impact in society. And they are the main actors of the society itself, like I explained earlier. Second is that because it lowers the chance for future conflicts. By teaching historiography like so, the people and the next generation of the post-conflicted and post-war country can learn about the character traits of the leaders. They can learn about the power dynamics, and they can also analyze the root cause of a conflict and then avoid it for the future. And then the third reason is that it causes the next generation to be way more competent. Like I said, because you are here analyzing the major power dynamics that made an event happen, that made a society exist. So they can analyze the traits, the strength or weaknesses of their leaders, and prepare them to be successful leaders in the future for the society. For the impact of this motion is that when visualized, there's transparency of history because it shows the people what actually happened in the higher ups, what happened in the power dynamics, in the important people and the leaders of the country itself, what actually happened in the conflict, what is the main cause, what is the cause that made it dismantle. And it also honors the families of the leaders and important people that live their life in pressure to protect their people every single day in the conflict itself. After the conflict is over, they are definitely deserving of honor, right? By immortalizing them in textbooks and basic historiography of the country. And then, like I said earlier, there will be less chance for future conflicts because they can analyze the root cause, and then they can also make a more competent next generation because the next generation is way more filled with literature, and they are more knowledgeable about the country and politics, and it will create a more stable future in the long term for the recovering country. Here, these impacts are significant because a post-conflict society heavily relies on the future generation to restore and rebuild their society to its former glory. Here I think that we win on long-term weighing because the motion implies the society is a post-conflicted state, and they need the next generation to be more competent and have leadership traits and also ready to lead their society to a greater good. We also think that we win on magnitude because all the next generation will be more competent, more knowledgeable, and more involved. And not only the direct next generation of the generation of the conflict, but also the lower generation and then the after generation after. So we win heavily on magnitude because it involves all the next generation. And yeah, we also win on magnitude because we involve all the generations in the future, that rather than only honoring the common people that lost their lives in the conflict itself. Because that conflict, when turned into knowledge for the next generation, can make a country be way more livable, way more competent in many years. The impact still stands. And then I think that we also fulfill the interests of the people in the post-conflicted state, in the status quo, because their interest is to focus on the future and focus on a restoration of their country. And by making the future generations more competent, it can focus on a future restoration. And here, I think their world fails because they are too tunnel visioned by only focusing on the relatability and validation of the regular people that lost their lives in battle. So at the end of this debate, I think our side wins completely as the opposition side, because we focus on the future and we focus on the interests of the people of the war-torn society that want to have a stable future for their own nation and can be caused by competent leaders of the future generation. So that's all from me from the opposition team. Very proud to propose.